When news broke that Real Housewives of Potomac starred Dr. Wendy Osefo and her husband, Eddie Osefo, had been arrested on multiple counts of fraud, fans across the country were stunned. Social media exploded with reactions, some in disbelief, others quick to judge. But as the headlines spread, one question lingered: is this really what it looks like? Because behind the viral stories and flashing mugshots lies a far more complicated situation, one that raises eyebrows not only about the Osefos, but also about how fast fame can twist a narrative. Here's what we know. On October 9, 2025, the couple was taken into custody in Westminster, Maryland, and charged with 16 counts, including 7 felony charges of false or misleading information fraud. The accusations sound serious, and they are, but the case itself is layered with details that suggest things might not be as straightforward as they seem. According to Westminster Police, Wendy and Eddie allegedly filed an insurance claim earlier this year, claiming that designer handbags and expensive jewelry were stolen during a trip to Jamaica in April 2024. The report described the burglary as a major loss, nearly $500,000 in luxury items gone. But months later, investigators say they stumbled upon something that raised suspicion. And what authorities describe as a key piece of evidence, Wendy was allegedly spotted wearing one of the stolen diamond rings in a later social media post, the same ring she had claimed was missing. Soon after, detectives began digging deeper into the couple's financial records. What they reportedly uncovered led to a full-scale fraud investigation. Police now allege that several of the items listed as stolen had actually been returned for refunds before the Jamaica trip ever happened. To them, this looked like a deliberate attempt to inflate the value of an insurance claim. In court filings obtained by TMZ, prosecutors say the Osefos reported a $450,000 personal property loss to their insurer, a number that now sits at the center of the case. Still, people close to the couple insist there's more to the story. Some claim the burglary was real, but that the timeline and paperwork may have gotten tangled. Others believe the entire situation has been blown out of proportion because of Wendy's fame and her role on a hit reality show. At this point, both Wendy and Eddie have remained silent publicly. Their representatives, and Bravo, haven't commented either. But one thing is clear. The glamorous, picture-perfect image fans have long associated with the Osefos has been shaken. And yet, if you think this is just another celebrity scandal, think again, because what's coming next could change how people see the entire case. As the headlines continue to circulate, many fans are starting to question whether the story of Wendy Osefo's arrest is being told fairly, or if the frenzy surrounding her fame is making the situation worse. After all, Wendy isn't just any reality star. She's a professor, a political commentator, and one of the most outspoken women in the Real Housewives franchise. For years, she's represented strength, intelligence, and ambition. So how did someone with such a powerful image end up at the center of a fraud scandal? Sources close to the Osefos suggest that what really happened might be rooted in confusion rather than criminal intent. According to one insider, the couple did experience a burglary during their Jamaica trip. But between insurance paperwork, travel claims, and returned purchases, the timeline became messy. The suggestion is that the situation might have been misinterpreted as deliberate fraud when it could have been an honest mistake amplified by fame and scrutiny. However, police and prosecutors seem convinced that the evidence points to something far more deliberate. The reported refunds on luxury items and the social media posts showing the allegedly stolen jewelry created a narrative the prosecution believes is hard to ignore. Still, until the trial plays out, nothing is certain. For Wendy, the arrest has cast a shadow over her career. She was set to appear in Wife Swap, the Real Housewives edition, premiering this month on Bravo, a show that was supposed to expand her public brand. Now, it's unclear whether the network will proceed as planned or quietly distance themselves from the controversy. Fans are torn. Some say this is just another example of the public rushing to judge before knowing the full truth. Others believe the accusations reflect the pressure and lifestyle that come with reality TV fame, where appearances often blur the line between authenticity and performance. But perhaps what's most fascinating is how Wendy herself has responded. Or rather, hasn't. Unlike many stars who rush to issue statements, she's chosen silence. No public denial, no dramatic explanation, just quiet. And in that silence, speculation only grows louder. So, is Wendy Osefo guilty of fraud, or is she caught in a web of misunderstanding and media overdrive? Only time and a courtroom will tell. But one thing is sure, this story isn't as simple as the headlines make it seem. Behind the glitz of reality TV and the chaos of public opinion lies a deeper truth, one that might just change how we see the cost of fame, image, and the rush to judgment. Because when it comes to Wendy Osefo's fraud arrest, it truly isn't what you think. And there you have it, the shocking story of Wendy Osefo's arrest that's left everyone talking. But as you've just heard, this isn't your typical celebrity scandal. The truth behind those headlines runs deeper than most people realize. It's a story about fame, reputation, and how fast public opinion can turn when the spotlight gets too bright. When news first broke, the internet went wild. Judgment everywhere, memes flying, and rumors spinning out of control. But as new details surface, one thing becomes clear. Sometimes what you see online isn't the full picture. Whether this was a mistake blown out of proportion or a genuine case of fraud, the real story will only come out with time. Wendy Osefo has built a name as one of the most educated, respected women in the Real Housewives franchise. A wife, a mother, a professor, and a media voice. And now, that image is being tested in ways she probably never imagined. The silence from her and Bravo only adds to the mystery. Is it strategy, shock, or something bigger at play? We've seen this pattern before. Fame can lift you up and pull you down in the same breath. But one thing's certain, people love to see a rise and fall, even when the truth is still unraveling. So before you make up your mind, remember, not every headline tells the whole story. If you've watched all the way to this point, thank you for sticking with me. I want to hear your thoughts. Do you think Wendy Osefo is guilty? Or is she being framed by media sensationalism? Drop your opinion in the comments below. Let's talk about it. And if you love stories that go beyond the surface, the truth behind fame, power, and scandal, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. I've got more stories coming your way that dig deeper than the headlines ever will.